Alrighty, y'all, welcome to Ellis Mowers. Look what we have had come into the garage today. It is one of these snapper rear engine riders. I've had a couple of these over the course of time. I have not had many, and so this is going to be a little bit of a treat to work on. This one is like bare bones, old school. It's the newer model type. I got this lawnmower on a trade for a Craftsman 42-inch, 15.5 horsepower, or excuse me, 15 horsepower Kohler engine is what it had on it. This one is a pull start only. It doesn't even have an option for electric start on it. It's a 28-inch cut. It's got a little bit of a mess up with the discharge chute here. I think it used to be a mulching cover on it. But it's still the old style, if you know what I'm talking about, snapper. Got the little wheel on it instead of the handlebars. And a pull start 11.5 horsepower engine. The pull rope broke out of it. He said it was running, but he broke the pull rope trying to get it started, which is kind of ironic because whenever I took my mower off the truck that I gave him, or that we traded for, I got some cash on the trade as well. From where I guess it bounced up and down a lot because I had to go over speed bumps and stuff. It leaked some gas into the muffler. But that's a whole nother story. I've had it for days, and the thing, y'all saw the video, the thing started right up. Didn't even have a shut-off switch on it when I got it, so you know, I think just some of the gas sloshing around got a little bit past the needle and seat on that thing. Otherwise, either way, we got this now, and the sun is crazy because it's getting close to the end of the evening. Another issue with this is that it needs bearings in the wheels also, or I could just get new wheels for it. These tires probably ain't 20-ish bucks a piece if I go get some. But I think I got some bearings over here. We're going to try and... This is a good candidate to see if I can swap out some bearings on these things. I don't even know what that is. But I got this John Deere here. John Deere wheel that doesn't have any tires on it. See if I can hammer out the bearings in it and see what we can do with it possibly. Or I'll just check prices. If this thing runs, I might just check prices at the store and run and grab a couple of tires. If they're less than 50 bucks for the pair, I might go that route. We'll see. But the first order of business is I gotta get this pull rope sorted out. It looks like I've never done one of these on these 11.5 with the pull ropes. It looks like I need to just take these 5/16 inch nuts off the top, bolts. I always mix up nuts and bolts. The 5/16 off the top here. Let's see what we got. The pull rope's just old. It's probably the original pull rope on it, so it wouldn't surprise me if it just broke. I got plenty of pull rope here. We'll just replace it and roll on with it. So I'm going to take these 4 things off real quick, these 4 bolts, and see if that fixes our issue, or if that gets our pull rope cover off. And if it does, we'll go ahead and replace the pull rope in it. Alright, so I wanted to show you the length of the old pull rope. It's about, I don't know, about 4-ish feet long, maybe 4.5. It looks to be the original rope on the thing because it is all dry rotted and stuff like that. I don't have the big rope. I do have a bunch of the small rope for the push mowers. I'm going to try that on here. What I did is I wound it up about 4 times, and I just stuck it through the hole, and then you wind it back. So you wind it up the direction that the teeth pop out, because that's the way that you're going to pull it. And so now I've got a screwdriver in it because I gave it a little bit of slack so that I could put, or let out a little bit of slack so I could put this pull handle on it. And so we're going to put the pull handle on it, and I'll show you all that, and I'll show you that the pull rope works on it, and then we're going to get this thing started. I mean, I believe the guy that it starts and runs, because I think he just cut the grass with it last week. So we're going to pop this rope into it. And what I'm doing is I'm actually double knotting them, because this rope is a little bit thinner than what is usually on these, and so I don't want it to be popping itself up through the hole. So I'm doing that. I'm doing just one of those on this side is probably fine. Yeah. Let me do a second one just in case. Just make it a huge knot so that the thing doesn't even want to attempt to come through that hole there. That's the goal, because we don't want it to pull itself out. Oops, I messed up. Forgot to thread it through this. And I apparently have butterfingers as well. I've got enough rope on this to where it doesn't really matter, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this knot off. Thread it through like I'm supposed to. Silly me. Silly me. Alright, now I'm threading it through this piece. I knew I was missing something. Just couldn't remember, think about what I was missing. Alright, so I got enough rope, it doesn't really matter. So we're gonna double knot it again. That should be more than plenty to keep it in place. Oh yeah, that makes much more sense. Just tuck the rest of that in there. Alright, so we have that fixed. Let me put it back on the mower and see if we can get this thing to start for us. So I went ahead and put the pull rope in, and I can show you that she will. Got to put the park brake on or put it in neutral, but still, I wonder how you do this. I've never done one of these before. The way that the pull rope is like this, put it in neutral. I wonder if it'll pull better now. Trying to figure out how you do the park brake on this thing. Park brake in. Oh, I see. It's very simple. Should be very simple anyways. Oh yeah. You just push the clutch all the way down and press the park brake in like that. And that's how you start it. That gets rid of all your resistance on the road. And you start it like that. I don't have it on at this point. Interesting. It's got gas in it. Let me show you it around real quick. It's got good oil. This was made in 07. It's 070321. It's a 217802 engine. Kind of cool. Never had one of these 11.5 horse Briggs OHVs before, so it's good. It's the newer style, obviously. You let that out, let the gas flow through the, let some air vent down to the gas tank. Let's see. So it looks like the throttle cable is broken on it. Oh yeah, it is broken on it. See? So the throttle cable is broken on it. which would explain why it might be difficult for him to start. Oh, they have jacked all the throttle mechanisms and stuff around here, though. Because you see where the choke is? See how they got the choke? Oh man, there we go. So I wonder if you can just push the choke in and turn the key on to start it. We'll test that out in just a second. So my girlfriend and I got really excited about this thing. So I put down the camera. We had a little bit of fun with the mower. Let me show you this though. I got it down. Park brake is on. Now. And like I say, you just pull the choke in back here, which is what I did earlier. And key is in the start position. And here we go. Oh, it's gonna make a liar out of me now. And pull the choke out. Let's see, park brake. Might be because it's in reverse, I doubt it. It was literally running just a second ago. Let's see, so that's in, that's choke in. That's choke out. Might have flooded it. I'll tell you what. I'll figure out why it's not going to crank for me. Well, I'll figure that out. I'll show you what I've done so far with the wheel. Taking it off. I hammered out some bearings using a hammer and just a pry bar here. Now what I'm going to do, grab a socket, probably 3/4 will work. Probably an impact is a little bit better to use. Let me see where those are. There they are. Trying to get these lawnmowers out of here so that I don't have to look at them anymore. All right, let's do a 3/4. I think that'll be plenty. Maybe a 7/8. Literally just gonna hammer this bearing into this wheel here. I think somebody was popping too many wheelies with this thing. 7/8. Yeah, that's plenty good. Let's hammer the bearing in. I wouldn't do that very much. I think we're pretty hammered in. You just pop it back on. Do need to put some spacers on the wheel. Space it out a little bit. Maybe just one big washer, actually. There we go. One big washer, and I'm going to grease it up on the inside as well. We'll pop that on. I'll do the same thing to the other. It's probably not the best way to go about. I wouldn't hammer it on like I just did because it looks like I damaged a little bit of the rubber seal on it. But as long as it does what we need it to do, that's what I want it to do. Hopefully it won't pop off. Bearings aren't too pricey, so I'm going to grease the inside of this wheel here, and we will continue on with doing the other wheel and then see if I can get this thing started back. I don't know what the deal is with this thing. It's on, and I had it started earlier, which I don't get. It's crazy. Unless there's like a flap ground on this thing, which there's not, because I did put this bagger attachment on it. And that right there doesn't really do anything except lock it into gear, maybe? Not quite sure. I'll do a little bit more investigating and figure out why this thing's not running. And I'll get back with y'all on it. But I'll finish the bearings in this wheel now and figure out this thing here in just a second. Alright, so I've got some starting fluid. I'm going to see if I can get it to kick over for us. Let's see, I need to go right there. I don't know why it ran earlier, but now it won't run now. It wants to, I guess, give me a little bit of a time since I'm trying to show it off now. Park brake is down. It's in the start position. Throttle doesn't matter because the throttle is broke on it. Interesting. It's not even trying, which is weird. The choke is off now. Let's see. So weird. It's like it doesn't even want to go. Which is strange because I just started it up on the first pull. I wonder if there's like a safety involved with this. Let me take this bagger mechanism off and see what happens. I'm very puzzled though because I just had it running and now it's not. Now it doesn't want to start on me. I don't see any sort of ground on that. It's really weird. Is it in neutral? Yes. Park brake is on. That's not a safety right there, from what I can tell. And obviously you can't be on the mower to start it. That is so weird. Because it was just... I just had it running. Off camera. That's not a ground. Haven't touched anything back here that could mess any of that up. Vents open for the fuel. I guess I can try the plug, check the plug, and see how bad it is. It did try and smoke up a little bit whenever I originally tried to. It's kind of puzzling now because I want to start it and it doesn't want to do a thing. Really weird. Okay, let me take the plug out and see what we got, because I don't know what else it could be, because everything is the way that it is supposed to be. Blades are off. Mower is in neutral, and it was working just a second ago. So either way, we got the bearings fixed and the wheels, so they're a little bit more steady, which is nice. Park brake is on. Let me pull the plug and see what we got. So the plug is a little dirty, but it is getting good spark, so I'm just gonna pop it over here and give it a good clean real quick. Sorry, I got you on one hand holding the plug and the other holding the camera while I'm turning the wheel there. Just trying to find my wire brush now. Just clean it off a little bit. There we go. The drill works. You don't want to go too heavy on this because we just want to get rid of some of that residue on there. That looks a little better. So let me take it out. Pop it back in, because it's not a coil that's preventing it from starting. So I don't know if I've got bad gas in it or too much gas or what in it. But let me pop the plug back in it. Let me sit y'all down while I do this. I feel like I'm putting y'all on an earthquake. There we go. Let's see if it cranks now, I guess. I think it was stuck on choke, what was wrong with it. sure this doesn't do anything. No, that doesn't do anything. Look, listen to how good it runs though. Back in. Get some things out of the way. I make a mess, don't I? Alright, let's go for a little spin. There we go. Second gear. Wheels are much better now. Let me show you that take that off. I mean, you can. Let's hit a pine cone. And there we go. So that one runs. It seems good now. Got a little bit of foot action to get the clutch off. Oh, I didn't put the air filter back on right. Oops. It's a tight fit with this, with the way that these things are. So I guess I just didn't put it back down in there right. Or maybe I did. Maybe it just popped out. Yeah, it's in there right. I just hate that that plug wire is so close to the exhaust on this thing. The way they had to orient these Briggs engines in order for them to work on these is a little bit, it's not backwards, but it's a little unconventional, because you mount it sideways as opposed to forwards. And so let's see if it cranks back up. Let's see, did the choke come back on? Yep, choke came back on. Oh, it won't start unless I have it. Let's see. Choke should be out right there. I would think. This is like a one-start wonder right here, isn't it? Let's see. Once I get this choke situation figured out, then I'll be all right. probably flooding it trying to start it and stuff. Alright, so we're making progress now. So before it gets dark, I'm going to go ahead and install the bagger on this. Let me show you. So the more I look at this, the more I want to keep it. Reason being, I have a 1985 snapper back here. It's either 84 or 85. It's got an 11 horse Briggs on it. Old school Briggs. And it's pretty tired. It's got some life left in it, but not a ton. It's still a good mower though. I put a deck belt on it and still cut with it. It's a 33 inch. But I don't know if it's time for us to part ways with this thing or what. I'm kind of on the fence, truthfully, because the engine's getting a little tired. But I use these to pick up my pine straw in the fall, and so I don't know if like a 28 inch versus a 33 inch is going to make that big of a difference to me in terms of picking up pine straw and leaves and stuff here in the yard. So let me go ahead and get the bagger on this, and let me see how it is. And honestly, I might decide to keep this thing. I'm not sure yet though. Or I just refurbish my 33 inch snapper for as much as I use it. I don't know, because I know I can sell that one. I can fix the throttle cable and choke on it and sell it tomorrow and be fine and dandy. So I'm going to chew on it overnight, figure out what I want to do, because I got to put at least one tire tube in this thing either way. So I'm not sure. Not sure what I want to do yet. But like I said, let me chew on it overnight and let me figure out, because this is a super nice mower for what it is. It's just a pull start. You pull it, you go, and you rock and roll. So I'll catch back up with y'all on the next clip here, which will be the next day, and I'll figure out exactly what I want to do with this thing. Because pretty easy fix overall. Like I said, I just don't quite know what I want to do with it yet. So we'll figure it out here in a few minutes. And I'll tell y'all in just a second. Alright y'all, so I cleaned up my old one. And I got it out here. We're going to do an old versus new comparison real quick. What I have decided to do is, even though it pains my heart sometimes, is that I'm going to go ahead and upgrade my fleet. I'm going to go ahead and turn this one into my keeper for my yard pickup for pine straw and stuff in the fall. Pine straw really gets bad in the fall, and so these high-vac mowers do an excellent job of picking up the pine straw and such here in my yard. And so I love my 80, is it an 84 model? Yeah, 84 12-6. So it was made in December of 84. This one was made in 2007? March of 2007, like I mentioned earlier. And really look at them, they're really, within 25 years, they really did not change all that much. It's kind of crazy. They had to add a couple of like safety mechanisms and stuff on, I guess, to fit with the times of this mower. But I mean, apart from that, they're basically the same thing, just 25 years removed, which is crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna keep my little 28 here that I got, and we're gonna go ahead and sell the 33. I put a new deck belt on the 33 here, maybe, I don't know, 2 years ago now. I really haven't used it more than probably about 4 or 5 times then. This one does not. This one had a pull start on it, but somebody had pulled all the guts and everything out of it, so it's an electric start only. I gotta swap the battery out, and I gotta put some oil in it. This thing will smoke like a freight train when you first crank it up too. And the left front or the left rear tire goes down over time. I'm thinking about putting a tire tube in it, but I don't know. This thing served me pretty decently. I got it. History on this: I sold a, gosh, it was either my first or my second ever lot of 40 push mowers that I got from my wholesaler guy, and I ended up trading a push mower for this. So it was about valued at about $100. The thing, she said it ran, and the issue was that the key switch came off of it. I don't think she realized that she had a push start back here in the back. So kind of neat how I got it. We'll do a little bit more comparison here in just a second. Alright, so I've topped this thing off with oil. Let me give y'all a little bit of a perspective as to, put some gas in it as well. I guess a little bit of perspective of the differences. There really isn't much different, honestly. Only thing I can notice is that this one obviously has fewer safeties on it, but this one, whenever you put the blade pedal down, you see this thing where it prevents you from going into reverse. So all I need to do is basically take that little device off or disable it, one of the two. And obviously there's no seat safety because this is a pull start only, which is actually what I like. With just your on-off switch right here, which is what this one had, but obviously it's not working properly. And of course the carb's leaking out of this again. Carb likes to leak whenever it doesn't have any fuel in it for a while. So I had to crank that out of it. But, you know, let's see if we can get this thing cranked up. I think we can. Also the decks. The deck height adjuster is a little bit different. I think this has got like 7 different settings on it. That one only has 5. So, but the whole premise of it is the same, because this is the bagger from that old one, fit right on the new one. So, let me work and see if I can get this thing cranked for us. I'll put y'all at a 10,000 foot view, so to speak. A little smoky, like I told you. clear it up. Throttle it down all the way to turn it off. Usually after you run it the first time, after it hasn't been introduced to any gas for a while, it will fix itself. The needle and seat will. So I might just kind of let it sit here for a minute. As you can see, it was a smoke screen when I first cranked it up because it's been the first time in months. But it started right up, which is good. I'm just going to let, like I said, I'm just going to let this thing sit for a little bit. Make sure the needle and the seat don't leak. You can even still see the writing on the deck belt. It's still been used so little. So, got that going for us. You know, everything else, for it to be almost 40 years old, it's doing pretty well, I think. Don't y'all? I don't know if the choke's getting pulled back or not, but like y'all saw, it's starting and running good, and we'll keep on rolling with it here. Let's see if it starts back up. Yep, so seems like it's doing all right. Like I said, I don't know if the choke arm is working like it's supposed to, but if you need to, you can just come back and pull the choke. But because I had to put a different type starter or throttle cable on it. I think I just need to adjust the throttle cable some a little bit. So yeah, that was a cool little ride, wasn't it? Cuts pretty good still. But yeah, this is gonna be the new one. Let me see if this thing will even crank over this morning or afternoon now, excuse me. It's been sitting for an evening. Open that up, push the choke in, which it's in. Turn it to that start position. Maybe not. Pull the choke out, see what happens. This is like the little mystery mower sometimes, isn't it? Make sure the spark plug's in. Very interesting, because the choke right there is in, which means that it should be pulling gas up in there. And I can smell gas, but it's not firing for me. So I'll continue to work on that, this one as well. But we got this old one running. Running great as always, right? And the needle and seat aren't leaking anymore. So it's giving me second thoughts, but I like the whole pull start deal on this. So let me see what I can do with it. And I'll get it running for us. Then we'll go ahead and close this video out. Well, I didn't have the park brake down. That was the problem. Started right up after I did that. Runs good too. Blades. So this one is going to be my keeper. This one's going to be my seller. I know they're not worth more than about $150 or so. Maybe a little bit more. Like I said, I don't know. They're not worth a lot of money anymore, sadly. I'm going to see if I can fix this throttle cable to where it will stay in to where I need it, to where it'll engage the choke like it's supposed to, because that's where it's needing to engage the choke at. And so let me work on this a little bit and get back to y'all in just a second. I'll fix this throttle cable. Actually, y'all seen, all I gotta do is take this 5/16 out, pop it in, and we're good. Y'all seen me do most of the other repairs and stuff on this. It's kind of saying farewell. I've had it about 3 years, and I've enjoyed it, but I think it's time for it to move on to its new home, and bring in one that's a little bit newer, but still got the old classic look. Except I don't have the handlebars anymore. I got the old elongated wheel, which is fine with me though. So thank you all for watching this video. Sorry this one really wasn't a lot of fixing. I really didn't have to do too much to it, believe it or not. I'm going to swap over the bagger and everything on it, and we'll be good on this one. But I just kind of wanted to show y'all two nice snappers here, almost 25 years apart, and really didn't change too much until I guess the snapper really sold the name off, and you know, the times caught up with these rear engine riders to where they weren't really safe to use anymore and safe to sell according to current safety standards. Probably other reasons that y'all can list in the comments. But thank y'all for watching again. I'll catch y'all in the next video. I'll be working on some more mowers, and you can catch me on Instagram and Facebook at Ellis Mowers 09 for any real-time updates for what I'm working on.